I first noticed it on a Tuesday morning. Mark wasn't himself. He used to say good morning with a smile, but that day, he barely looked at me. His eyes were distant, like he was somewhere else entirely. I told myself it was stress, work was busy, deadlines looming. Maybe I was overthinking. "Hey," I said, setting his coffee down on the kitchen counter. "Long day yesterday?" He glanced up quickly, then looked away. "Yeah. Just tired." "Tired?" I forced a smile. "You didn't even call me last night." He shrugged. "You were asleep. I didn't want to wake you." That should have been enough. But it wasn't. Later that evening, I caught him texting in the living room, phone pressed close, hushed whispers when he thought I wasn't watching. When I asked, he'd snap, "It's work, okay? Can you just drop it?" But I couldn't drop it. Not anymore. The next day, my suspicion turned to certainty. I was cleaning up the kitchen when his phone lit up on the counter. A message preview popped up. Someone named Emily. The text read, "Can't wait to see you tonight. It was great last time." I froze. My heart hammered so loud I was sure he'd hear it. Mark walked in just then. "Hey, what's wrong?" I swallowed hard. "Who's Emily?" He looked startled. "What?" "No one." I grabbed his phone. "Don't lie to me." He pulled back, face pale. "It's nothing. Just a friend." "A friend who sends texts like this?" I held the phone between us. "We promised honesty. Remember our vows?" He sighed heavily. "Sarah, please. I'm just. I don't know how to explain." "Then start by telling me the truth," I whispered, fighting tears. That night, I lay awake, replaying everything. Our wedding day. The promises we made in front of everyone, love, loyalty, forever. Had it all been a lie? I tried to call his office the next morning. No answer. Texted him. No reply. The silence screamed louder than words. When he finally came home, I confronted him again. "Mark, this isn't about work." "I found the texts. Why won't you tell me what's going on?" He avoided my gaze. "I'm sorry, okay? Things got complicated." "Complicated? What does that even mean?" I didn't want to hurt you. But you already have." My voice broke. "I don't know who you are anymore." He reached out, but I pulled away. "I need space. I need time to think." Days passed in a blur. Every sound made me jump. I checked his phone when he wasn't around, messages, calls, meetings I wasn't invited to. His excuses grew thinner, his lies thicker. One afternoon, I called my best friend, Rachel. "I don't know what to do, Rachel. I feel like I'm losing him, and maybe myself too." "Sarah, you deserve the truth. You deserve better." "But what if I'm just imagining things? What if it's all in my head?" "No, you're not. Trust your gut." I wanted to believe her. I needed to. That evening, Mark came home late. The smell of perfume hit me the second he walked in. "Who was that?" I asked, voice trembling. He froze. "No one. Just a client." "Client? You never bring clients home." He stayed silent. "I'm scared, Mark," I confessed. "I'm scared we're breaking." He finally looked at me, eyes tired. "Maybe we are." I wanted to scream, to beg him to stay. But all I could do was hold back tears. "Tell me what you want," I said quietly. He hesitated. "I don't know." I stared at the wedding ring on my finger, the symbol of a forever I wasn't sure existed anymore. "Remember when we promised to fight through everything?" I whispered to myself, gripping the ring tight. Maybe this was the fight. Maybe it was just the beginning of the cracks. I never thought I'd find the proof like this. Not in my own home, not by accident. But there it was, Mark's hotel receipt, tucked inside an old jacket pocket. The date matched the day he told me he was working late. I held the crumpled paper in my shaking hands, heart hammering so hard I thought it might burst. I stared at the name printed on it. The Grand Oak Hotel. Our anniversary was supposed to be at home, a quiet dinner between us. Instead, he was there, with someone else. I couldn't breathe. That night, I waited until he was in the shower. Then I grabbed his phone, fingers trembling. The messages spilled out like poison. Emily, last night was perfect. When can we meet again? Mark, soon. Can't stop thinking about you. My vision blurred. I dropped the phone onto the bed, sinking to the floor. What have you done? I whispered to the empty room. When he stepped out of the shower, dripping and unsuspecting, I confronted him. Mark. My voice cracked. What is this? He froze, towel hanging loosely, eyes wide but cold. I can explain, he stammered. Explain what? Sleeping with Emily? I spat, struggling to keep my voice steady. He shook his head. It's not like that. You don't understand. Then help me understand. Because right now, all I see is betrayal. His jaw clenched. I never meant to hurt you. But you did. I swallowed back tears. How long? Just a few months. It happened when things between us got tough. I laughed bitterly. Tough? What about me? What about us? I was lonely. You were distant too. That's not an excuse. He looked away, ashamed. Did you think I wouldn't find out? I pressed. Or did you just not care? He finally met my gaze, eyes glassy. I was weak. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this, I said, voice barely above a whisper. Days turned into sleepless nights. I replayed every moment, every word, searching for signs I'd missed. Was her perfume on his clothes? Was that late-night call from Emily? My mind spun in endless circles. One morning, I sat at the kitchen table, staring blankly at my coffee. Do you want to talk? Rachel asked gently, sliding into the seat across from me. I don't know if I can, I admitted. I feel like my whole world is crashing. Tell me everything. I spilled the truth, the receipt, the texts, the confrontation. Why didn't you leave? She asked quietly. Because I loved him. Still do, even now. That love is bleeding you dry. I know. But I can't just walk away. Not yet. The nights were the hardest. Mark would come home late, silence thick between us. One evening, I broke. Do you still love me? I demanded. He looked tired, worn out by his own guilt. I don't know who I love anymore. Then why stay? Because I'm scared. Me too, I confessed. One night, the silence was unbearable. I whispered, why did you risk everything for her? He swallowed hard. It wasn't supposed to happen. But it did. And now I'm the one left with the pieces. The weight of his betrayal crushed me. I felt hollow and furious, trapped in a nightmare where love turned poisonous. At work, I was a ghost. I nodded along, but my mind was somewhere else, obsessed with every detail I'd uncovered. I caught myself staring at his texts again, hoping to find something new. Something that would explain, or maybe just hurt less. I called my therapist, desperate for help. Why do I keep going back to the pain? I asked during our session. Why can't I let it go? Because it's tied to your identity, your trust, she said gently. You're trying to make sense of the senseless. I nodded, tears streaming down. I don't know how to be me anymore. You will. But first, you have to let yourself feel all of this. Back home, Mark and I had a fragile truce. He tried to make amends, but every touch, every word, felt like salt in my wound. Can we try counseling? He asked one night. I looked at him, searching for the man I once knew. I don't know if I can forgive yet. Then don't. Not now. I wanted to believe there was hope, but the doubt gnawed at me. Was I fooling myself? One morning, I found myself staring at our wedding photo, frozen smiles masking the truth. Was this all a lie? I whispered. Mark walked in. It wasn't supposed to end like this. Then what was it supposed to be? I asked, voice trembling. He didn't answer. That night, I lay awake, haunted by what I'd lost and terrified of what was to come. The betrayal wasn't just his, it was ours. And somehow, I had to find a way to survive it. I can't stop replaying everything, the smiles, the late-night talks, the promises. Were they all lies? I ask myself that every morning. One afternoon, I met with Rachel at our favorite cafe. Do you think I'm crazy for wanting to try again? I asked, stirring my coffee. She looked at me with that steady calm. No, but you have to ask yourself, what are you trying to save? The man you knew, or the idea of him? I don't know anymore, I said, voice cracking. Sometimes I think if I just forgive, we can fix this. Fix what, exactly? Rachel's eyes were sharp. The trust? The honesty? Those cracks run deep. I swallowed hard. I want to believe people change. I want to believe in us. But what if you're just holding on to pain? She reached across the table, squeezing my hand. You deserve the truth, even if it hurts. Later, I called my sister, hoping for a different kind of comfort. Jess, I'm falling apart, I admitted. I'm so tired of doubting everything. Sarah, she said gently, sometimes love isn't enough. You can't build a future on broken promises. I feel like I'm losing myself, I whispered. How do you forgive someone who's shattered your world? There's no easy answer, Jess said. But you have to put yourself first. The words hit me harder than I expected. At home, every conversation with Mark felt like walking on glass. Why didn't you tell me? I demanded one night. Why hide it? He looked down. I was scared. Scared of losing you. Did you think lying would keep us together? He sighed. I was stupid. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix the nights I cried alone. I know. I don't expect you to forgive me yet. Then what do you expect? I want to make it right. I want to prove I can be better. I wanted to believe him. I really did. But every little thing set me off, the way he avoided eye contact, the silence in his voice. Are you hiding something else? I asked, voice trembling. No, he said firmly. I swear. Yet, I wasn't sure if I believed him anymore. At work, my mind wandered constantly. Colleagues noticed my distracted gaze. Everything okay? My boss asked gently. Just, personal stuff, I muttered. I felt isolated, like I was wearing a mask. One evening, Mark tried to reach out. Can we have dinner? Talk? Just us. I looked at him, searching for the man I once loved. I don't know if I can, I said honestly. He nodded. I'll wait as long as you need. But waiting felt like torture. I kept wondering, was this marriage salvageable? Or was I just setting myself up for more heartbreak? One night, I found myself staring at our wedding photo again. Was this all just a dream? I whispered. Mark came up behind me, wrapping his arms around my waist. I want to fix this, he said softly. I want to try, I admitted. But I'm scared. Me too. We stood there, holding on to a fragile hope amid the ruins. But deep down, I knew the real battle was just beginning. Hey, Sarah. You okay? Jenna's voice pulled me back from the fog as I stared blankly at my computer screen. Yeah, I lied, forcing a smile. Just tired. She narrowed her eyes, unconvinced. You sure? You've been off lately. I swallowed hard. It's nothing. Just work stress. She didn't push further, but I could tell she wanted to. Every day I put on that mask, the polite smile, the light laughter, but inside, I was breaking. At meetings, I nodded and took notes, while my mind replayed Mark's lies like a broken record. During lunch, Rachel called. Want to grab coffee later? I miss our talks. I'll try, I said, though I wasn't sure if I could handle it. At home, Mark acted like nothing had changed. Charming, distant, and full of empty apologies. He kept his phone close, his secrets closer. One evening, he kissed my cheek. I'm sorry. I nodded, but my heart felt like stone. The weight of pretending drained me. I avoided friends, fearing their pity or questions. At work, I kept conversations brief. Coffee? A coworker asked. Maybe later, I said, retreating to my desk. I was building walls, thick, cold, and unbreakable. But inside, rage simmered. One night, I sat alone, clutching Mark's phone. If you want to keep this marriage, I whispered, then show me the truth. I started keeping notes, dates, suspicious calls, little things I'd missed. Rachel noticed. What are you doing? Preparing, I said quietly. For when I can't pretend anymore. The mask was slipping, and I was ready to face what lay beneath. I called Rachel first. My voice was barely steady when I said, I don't know who he really is. She didn't hesitate. Tell me everything. I spilled the truth, the hotel receipt, the texts. Then I told her about the strange new names I'd found, women I'd never heard of. There's more than one, I whispered. And it's been going on longer than I thought. Rachel sighed. I'm so sorry, Sarah. But you're not alone. Later, I called Jess. I need you, I said simply. She came over that afternoon, arms wrapped around me like a lifeline. We'll figure this out, she promised. Step by step. Together, we dug deeper. Old messages, unexplained absences, Mark's web of lies was bigger than I imagined. But with each secret uncovered, my strength grew. Why does he think he can do this? I asked Rachel one night. Because he thought you'd never find out, she said firmly. But you did. Then, I met Dr. Harper. Sitting in her office, I finally let myself cry. I'm so angry, I said. I feel broken. She nodded. Anger is part of healing. Don't fight it. I don't know how to trust myself anymore, I admitted. That's normal, she said. You need to reclaim your story, Sarah. Not his. I left the session feeling lighter, like a weight was lifting. At home, Mark's charm didn't fool me anymore. I want answers, I told him one evening. He hesitated. I'm trying. Trying isn't enough. I'm done pretending. My friends and family became my pillars. Their voices reminded me who I was beyond the pain. One day, Rachel said, "You're stronger than you think." I smiled, feeling the truth in her words. For the first time, I stopped hiding. I wasn't just a victim, I was ready to fight back. I need to talk. Now. My voice was steady, but inside, my heart pounded like a drum. Mark looked up, surprised. Okay. What's this about? I took a deep breath. Enough lies, Mark. It ends tonight. He swallowed. Sarah, I didn't want it to come to this. Well, it did. My eyes locked on his. You owe me the truth. No more hiding. He rubbed his forehead. I made mistakes. Big ones. Big? It's a betrayal. A complete breakdown of everything we promised. I was lost, he said quietly. I didn't know how to tell you. Lost? You were out there, with her, lying to my face. I spat the words like venom. He winced. I was weak. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix the nights I cried alone. Or the trust you shattered. He looked away. I never meant to hurt you. But you did. And I'm done being your victim. I saw a flicker of pain in his eyes, but no excuse. You lied to me, to everyone. How can I believe anything you say now? I'm trying to make it right. Please. Trying isn't enough. I need honesty, respect, not empty promises. His voice cracked. I still love you. I shook my head. Love doesn't excuse betrayal. Then what do you want from me? Truth. Closure. Maybe someday forgiveness, but not yet. I'm scared, Sarah. Scared of losing you. So am I. We stood there, silence stretching like a chasm between us. Do you understand what you've done? I asked. You broke us. I do. His voice was soft, regret heavy. I wiped tears away. This is the last time we'll talk like this. Mark nodded. I get it. I turned to leave but stopped. One day, maybe, we'll find peace. But not now. Walking away, I felt something shift, a spark of strength rising from the ashes. I was no longer the broken woman who begged for answers. I was a survivor ready to reclaim her life. I called everyone, family, friends, anyone who needed to know. It's time, I said, voice steady. The truth comes out now. At the dinner table, I laid the evidence down, texts, receipts, pictures. The room went silent. My hands trembled, but I kept my eyes on Mark. How could you? My brother's voice cracked. After everything? Mark looked away, shrinking under the weight of their stares. Then I dropped the final bombshell, the affair partner's name. Gasps echoed. Emily? That Emily? Yes, I said, feeling the power in my words. The one he tried to hide. The betrayal no longer belonged only to me. It was public now. Mark's perfect image shattered before their eyes. I don't know what to say, he muttered. Say you're sorry. But know this, I'm done being your secret. Friends whispered behind backs. The gossip spread fast, a wildfire fueled by truth. One neighbor approached me. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I nodded. It's not easy. But I won't be broken. At work, whispers followed me. I felt eyes on me, judging, pitying. But I refused to shrink. In my quiet moments, I thought about justice, not just legal, but personal. How do I forgive this? I asked myself. Maybe I wouldn't, not yet. Maybe I'd let karma do its work. I made choices now for me, setting boundaries, saying no, walking away from toxic ties. Mark begged for another chance, but I stood firm. This is about my dignity, I told him. And I'm taking it back. For the first time in months, I felt a spark of freedom. The power was mine again. And I wasn't letting go. I'm ready to start, I told Dr. Harper as I sank into the chair. She smiled gently. Healing is a journey, Sarah. Let's take it one step at a time. Therapy became my refuge. I learned to face the pain instead of hiding it. Why do I still feel angry? I asked one day. Because anger protects you, she said. It's part of healing. Slowly, I rebuilt myself. I set boundaries with Mark. I need space to breathe. He nodded, quietly accepting. Friends rallied around me. Rachel held my hand. You're stronger than you think. I smiled, feeling warmth spread inside. Some days were hard. The scars still throbbed. But in quiet moments, I found peace, watching the sunrise, laughing with friends, reading a book. One night, I whispered to myself, I forgive you. Not for him, but for me. It felt like a weight lifting. I was no longer broken. I was becoming whole. A new life awaited. And I was ready. I held the wedding ring in my palm, feeling its cold weight. It used to mean forever. Now, it was a symbol of everything I lost, and everything I was about to reclaim. Mark, I said one last time, voice steady, this is over. He looked at me, eyes heavy with regret. I'm sorry. I need to be sorry for me now, I said, slipping the ring onto the table. I packed my bags the next day, each item a step toward freedom. At the new place, quiet filled the rooms. No whispers, no lies, just me. I called Rachel. I'm scared. You're brave, she said. You're starting your story. Sometimes, I catch myself smiling at the small things, sunlight on the wall, the sound of birds, the taste of morning coffee. The pain still visits, but it no longer owns me. I've learned that healing isn't a straight line. It's messy, slow, and real. And I'm ready for it.